Hey folks, this clip is brought to you by Omaha Steaks. Type in keyword Vols in the search bar at omahasteaks.com and order dad's favorite gift package for Father's Day today. That is keyword Vols, Omaha Steaks. Here it is right here. Tennessee Athletics last night on Twitter after this trip to the College World Series put out a graphic. And I mean, this is just great PR for everybody involved in the Tennessee Athletics department. The only school since 1998, 25 years at this point, to win a BCS New Year's Six bowl game, advance to the men's and women's basketball Sweet 16, advance to the men's and women's College World Series, all in the same academic year. You are good at baseball, softball, basketball, women's basketball, and football. And it is a lot of fun. But at the same time, the only one where you won a championship was softball. But this is like, to me, I can't believe you'd have to go back and listen to the comments that I used to make when I was on Swain's show back in the day, and when I had the Volcast, for anybody that's a longtime fan, if anybody remembers that. I used to just annihilate this athletics department. Just give them absolute hell. They were run by complete clowns from top to bottom. And the thing was a garbage dump. It was where hopes and dreams went to die because of absolute incompetence, because of just being okay with total mediocrity, because they didn't really care about winning, because they weren't all pulling in the same direction. I mean, it just was a clown show. And you have gone from that to, again, being good at literally every sport. And that is just, what do you even say? It really is crazy. I mean, what an accomplishment. Hopefully it's capped off here by a national championship. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the Danny White effect. I mean, just another example of how valuable he is to this university. Honestly, the longer I'm talking and writing about college sports, and the older I get, the more I think that athletic director is the most important hire you can make, even more so than the football coach. Because if you hire the right athletic director, he's going to make the right moves there when it comes to football and, well, every other sport, clearly. But football is the moneymaker. I mean, that's the one that gets the most attention. And it just seems like the programs that have this success are just, they have this alignment. I know it's the cliche word that Josh Heupel talked about whenever he, left UCF to join Danny White at Tennessee, but that alignment is so important. And Tennessee has it. We've talked about it before. They have it across every sport. I listened to an interview with Jacob Warren, redshirt senior tight end for the Tennessee football team, and he brought up how fun it is to see all these other sports being good and how they all root for each other, and that you can feel that energy in the athletic department, in the building. Like, it feels like a winning program to them. Like, they expect to win. Everybody in those facilities expects to win. And it all starts with Danny White. It's not just the coaches for each sport, because, they expect that too. That's why they're in the SEC. That's why they've been hired to these jobs. They wouldn't be hired if they didn't have that approach. But when it comes from the top down like that, and the focus truly is on winning and not just fundraising, I mean, that's an important part of it. And Danny White does a great job at all of those, things that are kind of outside the public view. But winning is ultimately what's at the front of his mind. And, when that's the focus, this is the results that you can have. And, it's a long way for them to go. You want to win a championship in football. You want to win this championship in baseball. You want to try to make a Final Four, make a championship run in basketball. And you want to see the Lady Vols back to where they were, at least kind of in that conversation for the top teams in the country. And, they're all building towards that. Even the Lady Vols had that strong finish on to the Sweet 16. It's all trending in the right direction. And, it could only get better from here. This might just be the start of something really special.
Really could be. And I hope that it just continues, obviously, and only gets better. I think it was even Mr. Jones in the comments here. He said that Tennessee baseball could start the dominoes of Tennessee championships here. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the Vol baseball starts the chain reaction of Tennessee championships. I hope so. That would be amazing. I I saw this somewhere last night. I don't remember where, so apologies. But it's a great question. Somebody said, would you rather be Tennessee here where you're having fun with absolutely everything. And I can tell you, as a media member that does a weekly show like this is absolutely the best way that it could possibly be. I mean, it could get better by winning literal national championships, sure, but it doesn't get much better than having almost year-round great content and positive things to say about almost every sport that your school has. That it's just incredible, because I did radio during 2017, and what a nightmare. There was just nothing. Everybody hated each other. It just, everything sucked. And I mean, what was basketball good yet? Maybe. I think that was the first year of Grant and Admiral.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like as good as it was going to get at that point. And to have it, I mean, let me just say, in this position, it's just an absolute godsend. But would you rather have this set up where you're good at everything, but you're only winning SEC championships? Or would you rather be Georgia, where you win multiple national championships in the sport that everybody in the SEC loves, but you suck at everything else? Because Georgia's not good at anything else. So I thought that was an interesting question. I don't know where you'd land on that, Zach.
Yeah, that's a really, really tough question. It's a good question. And I was sitting here thinking about it while you're throwing it out there. And I think, honestly, I would go with the being good at everything. As much as you want to win a championship in football, for me, yeah, I think I've said this before, sports, the seasons, everything, it's like a journey. You have to enjoy each one of those weeks throughout the season, whether it's football, baseball, basketball. And to put the whole season's success on one game at the end of the season that, a field goal might decide the game, and, whoever has the best kicker might win a championship or something like that. I think I'd rather have this, being good at everything. And because that gets you some of those moments like the Alabama win. Like, I can't imagine, winning a national championship obviously is the peak and that's what you want, but I can't imagine that moment feeling better than beating Alabama at Neyland Stadium in the way that they did, kind of unexpected. Like, I don't know if you can top that feeling even with a championship. I mean, that might be controversial. Maybe somebody will call me an idiot or feel completely different, but it's hard to imagine something feeling better than that moment. So for me, this, getting the, watching a baseball game at 1:00 in the morning in June and watching Chase Burns just go crazy. The electricity when he came off the mound after he got those 2 strikeouts to get out of the inning. I mean, I don't think I could give that up. I mean, that's just too special.
Yeah, with the dominant national championship team, you get the one release. You win that national championship. That's incredible. Bragging rights over absolutely everybody. You won the national title. That is crazy. But Tennessee, I mean, you had that next level moment beating Alabama. You won an SEC championship in basketball. You won an SEC championship in baseball. You won an SEC championship in softball. I mean,
you should never see Tennessee storm the field again for at least another quarter century. I mean, you shouldn't. Like, those moments, I know all that talk this offseason about penalizing schools for storming the field, and some Tennessee fans were kind of up in arms about that, and some didn't care. And the ones that didn't care were like, hey, we're not expecting to do that again. It's been a long time since we did it the first time. So those moments are so few and far between.
All right, here's the truth. Dads want steak. When you give dad perfectly aged and oh so tender steaks, you're not just giving him the best meal of his life, but you're giving him the chance to grill up these steaks and share the moment with you. For a limited time, when you go to omahasteaks.com and enter the keyword Vols, that is VOLS, into the search bar, you'll be able to order the dad's favorite gift package for only $99.99. Plus, you will get 8 free Omaha Steaks burgers. I have had these. They are incredible. Make sure you get them. These burgers taste like a steak on a bun, ultra lean, and they pack a bold, intense, beefy flavor. Save 60% on the dad's favorite grill pack, and you will get 4 bacon wrapped filet mignons, 4 premium air chilled chicken breasts, 4 boneless pork chops, 4 gourmet jumbo franks, 4 made from scratch caramel tartlets, and an Omaha Steaks seasoning pack, and those 8 free burgers for $99.99. Are you kidding me? A ridiculously great deal. Remember, gifting is easy. Dads want Steak. And Omaha Steaks isn't just steak, it's the best steak of your life, guaranteed. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com and type Vols, VOLS, into the search bar and order Dad's favorite gift package for Father's Day today. omahasteaks.com, keyword Vols.
And I think when you win those championships, yeah, you're excited. If Georgia three-peats, those Georgia fans are going to be very excited. But I think it's going to be more so they can talk junk to other fan bases because you're kind of expecting. And I can't speak from experience because I've never been a fan of a team that's like been a dynasty or won, multiple championships in a row. I don't really know what that feels like if you're just as excited after the third one as you were the first one. But I can't imagine that you are, because it's all the bitter that you go through that makes it that much sweeter when you do finally get to experience those great moments.
Yeah. I had in the last 2 years, 2 moments with Tennessee sports that essentially like moved me to tears or extreme excitement or whatever, as a Tennessee fan, like the nth degree of all that. It was the SEC championship. I was lucky enough to be there in Tampa for the basketball team, the first one since the 70s. And I've said this before, I'm really a basketball guy more than I'm a football guy. Obviously, I mean, football is the greatest. But I just personally, I played basketball as a kid and I just am more of a basketball guy in general. It was so meaningful to see that and to be there and the release of that and to have Tennessee win an actual championship and hold up the trophy. And you finally saw it for the first time in however long. And for me, the first time since I've been an adult was next level. And then that Alabama game, I mean, where it was just, I never thought I would see this day. I didn't think Tennessee would beat Alabama again until Nick Saban was gone. I didn't, period. I don't think it, I think if you're honest with yourself, probably nobody did. And there we were, seeing what we never thought we would see. And then you add on top of that the baseball championship, the softball championship just a few weeks ago, the College World Series for baseball and softball. All of these things just stacked on, the beating Duke in the second round of the NCAA tournament. I mean, it's just been so much stuff, and you just are getting this constant endorphins, having amazing moments, all of these things. Over, you have we won the national title. That's amazing. And then it's just depression for the rest of the year. It's almost like, I don't know, somebody that does ecstasy at a party versus somebody that I don't know does some other drug more throughout the year. I'm not sure. But one I didn't know where I was going with that one.
That was quite an analogy.
It came out before I had it fully formulated there, but
I was along for the ride.
I think everybody knew where I was going with that.
Yeah.
It's it just really, it has been just such a blast. It really has been crazy. I mean, good Lord, if it gets capped off with a national title in the next couple of weeks, that's just absolutely absurd. But
being a college sports fan isn't really being a sports fan in general. It sounds corny, but it's you want to win championships. Tennessee needs to win a football championship at some point here in the next 5 to 10 years. I mean, that's the goal. They're putting the money into it. They're getting the talent to do it. It needs to happen, but that, to me, it's never been the point. The point is, those fall Saturdays that you spend with friends, watching the game, texting about it, complaining about this or that during the week. I mean, it's all part of the experience, and it's a lot more fun when the program's winning. And if you go back to the 90s and the early 2000s with Tennessee football, I mean, you're talking about one national championship in that time period. It wasn't all about, I mean, obviously that was the peak, but it wasn't all about just that one season. It was all those seasons kind of combined in that journey that everybody went on together, and knowing that Tennessee had a chance pretty much every year. They weren't going to get there every single year, but it's been a while. This season, we're going into this 2023 season saying, if things break right, Georgia doesn't have the quarterback that maybe they thought they had. Maybe Tennessee can break through and win it. Like they were close last year. They have the guys. They were right on the cusp of it. It's not like crazy. Whereas 4 years ago, you would have said that, you'd have got laughed out off the internet, because there's no chance that Tennessee's even going to come close to competing for a spot in the playoff, let alone winning it. So just To me, that's where you want to be. Just have a chance. Just put the program in a position to have a chance every single year. And that's, you don't want to be Mark Richt and start stacking up 9 and 10 win seasons, and that's the peak. But at the same time, that's a whole heck of a lot better than what we experienced for a long, 10 years.
It definitely is. Jail just bringing up a great memory here. He said, I was so excited for the Bama game, so excited and shaking. I could hardly get my cigar lighted. That was the exact same for me. I posted a picture from my front yard on Twitter that night of me. I had just lit the cigar, and I was like, lighting it. And the picture is super shaky because I was shaking. And then there's an entire post-game show with me and Jonathan Crompton where I have no shirt on. What a night that was. But yeah, that's a ton of fun and just a fun question.